Well, hi there, everyone. Professor Nguyen here. I just wanted to give you a little video announcement this time instead of writing out one because there's a lot of information I want to share with you, but I also wanted to check in with you and see how you're all doing. And I know that you probably have had a million and one different things from our class, from your other classes, from Chafee to read. And so instead of having you read another super long announcement, I thought maybe it just would be better to show them some stuff and record a video. So here I am. My bulldog teaching assistant is also here to help me, sleeping on the job per the usual. So first and foremost, I just want to check in and see that y'all are doing okay. You're doing good. You're staying healthy. And you and your friends and family are staying healthy. Today is the 20th, and that's when I'm recording this. And the reason I'm trying to emphasize the date is because, as you may have noticed with coronavirus, things are changing so quickly and so rapidly that just a couple days can make a huge difference insofar as what news is available to us and what new updates are available. And so the last time I saw you was last Thursday before we went on spring break. We're still technically on spring break now, but as you may have noticed, we have extended spring break by another week here at the college. That's to allow face-to-face instructors to move their classes online. As I shared with you all last Thursday, I had already spent some time moving pieces of our classes online because I kind of had like a gut feeling that I would have to eventually. Really glad I did. So now we're pretty prepared and we're ready to go with getting all of our work and what we plan to do online onto Canvas. So a couple things that I want to show you insofar as Canvas. You can see behind my little square bubble right here. This is where I want you to go when I say coronavirus resources. I added this resource page up here. It's not any academic resources per se. It's a jumble of kind of technology, health, mental health, physical health resources to help you kind of get through this moment, because what I don't want as an instructor is for any of my students to have more challenges or obstacles in completing our course. I know it's all really hard to finish an 18-week class, much less try to finish an 18-week class halfway through online. So I know there's a lot of different challenges out there. And so I created this page and I'll be updating it constantly with any new information that I have, which I'm sure in the coming weeks will definitely start rolling out. You can see here that one of the first sites that I have is this giant PDF, and you can access this page actually from our home page. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But here it's just basically 7 pages, and it's a giant list of healthcare providers that provide low cost or free healthcare in the Inland Empire. I know a lot of my face-to-face classes tend to rely on our Chafee College Health Center for a variety of basic health needs. And so, of course, since you can't go on campus now, you don't have access to those things. And so I put this up here for you to try to get some dental or health work in general to stay up to date with those things, because we have coronavirus upon us, but it's also important to make sure that we're healthy in all sorts of different ways. And so if you or someone is in need of low-cost free medical care in the Inland Empire, you can look at this kind of this PDF, and there's kind of a little key right here that shows you what each of these doctors or areas serve. So some of them provide dental, some of them don't, some of them have an urgent care, some of them are for women's health or men's health or whatever. So you can kind of look at those different specialties. Down here you'll see that I've provided some 7 steps on how to help protect you and those around you from contracting COVID-19. I know that it's become a huge challenge now because as of today, the governor of California has instituted a rule that basically says we have to shelter in place, which means that if you're not essential, if you don't need to go out, you're not supposed to go out. And so here I am hunkered down, trying to teach y'all digitally this way, and I'll be fine. But I wanted to check in and make sure that you all are fine, because I know that not everybody's jobs can be done remotely, right? So I'm privileged in that I can switch instruction online, and I'm glad that I have the knowledge and the wherewithal to do so and the training to do so. So I'm really very blessed in that regard. But I know that a lot of you have jobs in the healthcare industry, in the retail industry, where that's not possible. So try to use these 7 steps when you're out and about, at work, or at other essential duties you have to do in order to keep yourself safe. It's not just an old person's disease either. So my young students out there are patients out there that are very young and they're having serious complications from this. And even if it was a disease that only impacted older individuals, we all still have a responsibility to make sure that it doesn't spread. So I might contract coronavirus and be totally fine and just have some mild symptoms. But my mother has a condition that makes her immunocompromised. So her immune system is already weaker than the average person. And on top of that, she's over 60. So this can be an incredible challenge for someone like her at this time. So even though coronavirus doesn't impact me directly, I have to be mindful of her and people like her who might contract it from people like me. So just please keep that in mind. Take this seriously. Don't panic, but do what you need to do to protect yourselves and others. And I'll be updating this with more resources. I know that also staying home all the time can be like, and you just want to, you just get stir crazy. And I do too. I definitely am going to miss coming into class and seeing all your faces and being able to interact with you. And it might be a little weird, to kind of see you all just digitally, but you have to try to find ways to make yourself feel a little bit more normal, if that makes sense. So I still try to get up. I still try to do the same routine. I try to look presentable, even though I have my dog, that's it. But I have to try to maintain some sense of normalcy. I make sure my desk at home, is warm and inviting and comfortable. We just learned about nonverbal space in chapter 6 and how important that is to not only express who we are, but also how our nonverbals affect our mind. So remember that the spaces that you're in at home impact your mind. What I'm trying to say is that if you don't set aside a space for you to comfortably work in a way that's comfortable for you, work on homework, do school things, that's going to impact the way you see school. It's going to impact the way you see the class, and it's going to impact the way you really experience all of this. So I know it's not always possible, but I just wanted to put it out there to try to create a space for yourself. Try to create a small section of a desk or an area of your room where you feel like, okay, this is where I'm going to do my schoolwork. This is going to be my area, because it's hard. I know a lot of you also really like to go into the library to do stuff because the library is a really nice, productive space. So try to emulate that at home as much as possible. And I will be posting up resources on this coronavirus page on Canvas as I get them. I'm still looking for them, but that definitely is a huge priority for me to share with you to make sure that you're able to access this information regularly. So a couple of other things I wanted to highlight. I'm actually going to move out of this page right now, and I'm going to go to our homepage here for our course. So you'll see here that I added in this new red orangey button. That's where the coronavirus resources that we were just looking at is located. Down here, you'll see Professor Nguyen's contact information. Now, as I've told you before we went for spring break, I'm not going to be using any new technology that I wasn't already using in class. But not all of you were accessing it, or not all of you were using it. I know that there were still some of you who were not reading my Canvas announcements, who were not, using my online office hours, and that's totally okay. But now, because we're totally online, it's a requirement. You have to use Canvas. You have to access Canvas. Do not just go to your email and read my announcements from there, because not everything shows up properly. And even then, you still have to go to Canvas to actually submit and complete your homework. So please, please, please do not resist it. Go to Canvas, use it. In addition to that, my office hours are all completely online. I'm not going to campus anymore. So please don't go to campus. No one's going to let you in there. And then no one's going to be there. So my online office hours are through a program called Zoom. What you do is you click on this blue link right here. Let me make sure you can see it. I'm going to zoom in right here so you can see it, okay? Right here. So you can see Professor Nguyen's contact information, this blue link right here. That's where you would click to go into my office hours during those times that I've written right here. I'm only online during those times. So please don't like come anytime and then be like, where is she? Why isn't she here? Because obviously I'm in meetings or doing other things. So those are my scheduled times that I will be on Zoom waiting to talk to you. In addition to that, we will also have class in Zoom. So as I mentioned, before we left, I'm still going to hold you to the exact same standards of work and quality that I would hold you to if everything was normal and everything had stayed the same. Nothing changes from this insofar as my expectations of you as a student. I expect you to still respect each other, respect me, keep discussion energetic and thorough and lively. So when I have you do work online, I'm not expecting 1 or 2 sentences and things and be like, oh, that's it, that's all I need to do. I'm expecting you to fully participate and really get into this. And that is why I'm also holding class every Tuesday and Thursday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. Like we would in class. So the normal times we always meet in class, Tuesday, Thursdays, 9:30 a.m. to 10:50 a.m., we will meet on Zoom using the same exact blue link here. So at home, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, at 9:30, you're going to click on that link and you're going to come into class. I'll be there live. I will take roll and I'll be checking in on who's logged in. And I'll be checking in who's logged in at the beginning and at the end. So, and I'll be asking you to participate. So every student will be asked to participate either by sharing, what they have to say through Zoom, through the video chat, which is kind of like what I'm doing now. Or some of you may be required to Zoom has a raise hand option, which I'll show you all when we actually start doing that. But again, I've made it as straightforward as possible. 9:30 to 10:50 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Click on that blue link to go to class. That's all, okay? If you don't have a webcam or a microphone on your computer/laptop, you can use your smartphone. I believe a majority of you all have smartphones, so this shouldn't really be an issue. If it is, you need to notify me now, like not later, 2 weeks from now, like now. You tell me now. So that we can work on how to get around that. I do know that our campus is allowing you to borrow laptops, and I believe it's like Chromebooks or something like that, and webcams. As of today, I don't have concrete specific information on how you're going to do that. So I would really suggest that you watch out for an email from Chafee on how to do that. I don't have the information, and when I do, of course, I will let you know ASAP as soon as I get it, but I do know that that is happening. They have bought, I believe, 1,000 laptops, and they're going to start letting you borrow them for the time being, okay? So that is a possibility, but even then, you don't need a computer to do this. You can just use your phone to Zoom in, okay? So please make sure that you are very well aware of that requirement for class. And again, at the end of this video, if you're confused by anything, contact me and let me know. But those are kind of the big things. We're going to be doing our actual work on Canvas. So like you're going to type up discussions, you're going to do your quizzes exactly like how we did on Thursday on Canvas, okay? But then we're still going to attend class by clicking this blue link right here that you can find on Canvas, and we basically will have class every Tuesday and Thursday mornings like we always do, and I will be calling on students, and we're going to make it as normal as possible, as normal as we can make it, okay? So make sure that you're very well aware of that. This does not mean everything is easier now, or this does not mean, no, we're never going to have class again. We're going to have class just in a different way, okay? Nothing is changing from this. I don't know how your other instructors are doing it. Every instructor is doing it a little bit differently. So make sure that you are really self-aware of that, checking in with them, checking Canvas, because most or all of us will be using Canvas or Zoom or both, like what I'm doing, to conduct class. Again, every instructor is doing it a little bit differently. So make sure that you're aware of that and checking in with all your other classes, okay? As of right now, no classes or labs as well will not be held on campus. So this is something that for those of you who are uncomfortable with technology, I apologize. I'm sorry that this kind of happened the way it did. I know you didn't sign up for an online class. However, given these circumstances, this is kind of the cards that were dealt, and I appreciate you trying your best to learn the technology. And of course, right here, I have Chafee student resources and Professor Nguyen's class resources, and those feature links on how to use Canvas, as well as my announcements also have a bunch of links. My previous ones have a bunch of links on Canvas tutorials and things like that. So for me, I believe Canvas to be really straightforward and pretty easy to use from a student's perspective, but I know it can be challenging. And so please take that time to teach yourself how to do it. I tried to warn y'all last week before we went to spring break about it. I said, hey, make sure you download this, do that. And that's kind of why, because it does take time to learn the technology if you're not used to it, and also learn how to learn online. And I know that being an online student is a completely different world for a lot of you. So hang in there. I know it's difficult, but I need y'all to do this because I don't have a choice in this matter either. Trust me, if I did, I would love for us to still have an in-person class, but this is kind of how things have to run from now on. The next thing I want to emphasize is that right now we're on spring break. We're on the tail end of spring break. If things were normal, we would come back next week starting the 23rd of March. However, as my previous announcements have said, and as I'm sure you've heard from various emails on campus, we are not coming back for instruction until the 30th, 3-0, okay? So next week, we will not be holding classes online just yet because we've extended students' spring break an extra week. The reason for this is to allow faculty to have more time with getting their classes online. And so because of that, we're not coming back to like classes and doing homework and all that kind of stuff until March 30th, okay? I will write this in my announcement. Again, if you are not sure of what's going on, let me know. But March 30th is the date to remember. That is when we will start meeting online in class. That's the week where homework will start to be due. That's the week all of your classes and all of your instructors will expect you to start doing work and start participating in class. The week of the 23rd to the 29th is still spring break for you guys. It's like an extra week of spring break. However, I strongly 1,000% recommend you don't just slack off and do nothing. That's really when you can get ahead on learning these new technologies. That's when you can get ahead on your readings. That's when you can get ahead on a lot of different things that I need y'all to do and you need to do in order to be prepared for this. And I know it feels overwhelming, but it's okay. You're going to get it. You're going to learn it and you'll be fine. Because I'm also here to help you. So if you're struggling with learning anything, so you're like, I know how to use Canvas, but I'm kind of not sure how learning online works for me, we can talk about that. So the more you communicate with me, the more I can help you. And that's kind of my last point that I want to make in this video is that, especially because we don't see each other in person now, it's so important more than ever that you read my announcements. Some of you haven't, I know it. You read my Canvas announcements. You go to Canvas to read through things and look at lectures and look at the work and all of that kind of stuff, okay? And it's so important that you message me when you need something, not 2 weeks after you think about needing something, the moment you need something. And so it's so, so important that you contact me because I don't know what's going on unless you tell me. I don't see you in person, so I can't even check in with you as I normally would in class when I would, I might walk over to you and be like, hey, how's it going? Or what's going on? Like, I can't do that anymore. So I'm going to need you to help me more than ever by being proactive and contacting me, okay? With that being said, don't forget that I've also added this new button called our weekly modules. As I explained in my previous announcement, this is basically where all of your work will be. You can see I've grouped things up by chapter. So here's our previous chapter 7. Our next one will be chapter 8, okay? And basically, this is where you're going to get all of this information here. Your quiz, a discussion forum, and I expect you to read the instructions on each of these. For example, if you clicked on this discussion forum, you can see that I have a set of instructions. I warn you not to Google certain things because in the past it has not worked. And I ask you to do this, and I ask you to return to the forum and respond to another student. There are steps that I have you do. So please make sure that you're cognizant and paying attention to those types of things, okay? Again, this will not be available to you until the week of March 30th, because that is when our college has decided to resume or start classes again. So classes next week, the 23rd to the 29th, are not in session. They will be in session again on the 30th. Make sure in the meantime to update yourself on technology, to constantly stay in contact with me. And remember that you can also contact each other through Canvas. So if you had a buddy in class and you feel like maybe meeting up with FaceTime or something like that to study together or talk through some of this stuff, or you have questions, go ahead and contact them right through Canvas. You can go to the people link and you can, message them through Canvas. So there's a lot of different resources for you available. Don't forget that on the left-hand side right here, there's the student support button, okay? And that button has tons of resources. If you needed a counseling appointment, you need to update your ed plan, you need to figure out how to use Canvas, that's the button that you go to, and that's for you. So there's so many resources out there. Don't feel like I'm in this alone. You have me, you have your fellow students, you have the student support button, you have my resources page on the home page. You got a lot of things going on for you. So try to think of it that way rather than all the things you don't have. And all the things you don't have, that's when you communicate with me and we can work something out, okay? I hope that you're all staying safe. Make sure to maintain social distancing. Try to slow the spread of this, especially for our healthcare workers that are working really hard to try to make sure that they not only take care of coronavirus patients, but remember, they have other patients too. They have women that are pregnant that are coming in, to give birth or for checkups. They have people with diabetes. They have people with cancer. These people already existed in our hospital system, and now we're getting a bunch of people with coronavirus coming into our hospital as well, which is straining hospitals, right? Hospitals don't have the resources to handle this many people. So the more distance we keep from ourselves, the slower the spread will be, and it'll definitely help out our healthcare workers who are working so hard to make sure that everybody stays healthy and safe. So please do your part. Message me if you need anything, and I'm more than happy to set up appointment times outside of my office hours if you want to talk, but you're not available during my office hours. So don't forget that I'm, available to you in a lot of other different ways. So as long as you message me, I'm totally fine. I hope this has been helpful. I miss you all so much. I don't know when I will see you again. I don't know if we're going to come back to class face-to-face. From what I'm hearing right now, we're supposed to act as if we're not. And so, unfortunately, that kind of sucks for us. But I think we'll be fine. One last note, I will be updating our course calendar down here in the next couple days, because since your spring break, as I previously mentioned, was extended an extra week, that means we lose a week of instruction. So I do have to take out certain things and mess around with the schedule a little bit to try to fit in everything that we were supposed to learn, but in a different way, because I still want you to get as much out of this class as possible. I still want you to achieve all of the student learning outcomes that are at the beginning of my syllabus, and I still want you to be able to leave this class with the knowledge and skill that all of my other interpersonal comm class students leave with. And so please watch out for that announcement. I will be sending out a new and updated calendar showing you kind of updated dates. It'll be colorful. schedule, and you'll see that it looks very different from the old calendar, because again, since I'm losing 1 week of instruction since your spring break got extended, I have to try to figure out what can we do where we can still fit in the same amount of content in a short amount of time, because to my knowledge, the semester will still end at the same time as was previously scheduled. So I believe the last day of instruction is May 20th, because I remember that commencement is May 21st, and I don't know if commencement's still happening. But basically what I'm trying to say is, because next week, the 23rd and 29th, there are no classes being held, we lose out on that week of instruction. So I'll be sending out an updated schedule. And I know you're like, oh my God, another thing that's changing in my life. And I know it's overwhelming. It's a lot. But it's something that has to be done because of the way things are right now. So again, I appreciate you all just putting on your war faces, right? Like trying your best to hunker through and power through a lot of these different challenges and obstacles. Again, I'm here. You have each other as a support system, and to make sure that you're staying safe and keeping others around you safe. Okay, I will see you all in class soon, starting the week of March 30th. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we will be in class via Zoom, 9:30 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. as we always are. Nothing is changing on that front. So I hope that you all have a fantastic rest of your day, week. All the days are trying to bleed together now, aren't they? And so just know that March 30th, classes will be back in session. For us specifically, that means Tuesday, March 31st is our first Zoom class. Yeah, we're going to be Zooming, teleconferencing here digitally. So I miss you all. I hope everything's okay. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.